Hello there, Kyle and Katarn here.
And Bendu.
It's time for another community Q&A where we answer questions from you guys.
Which is cool, because it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a long time. A lot of stuff's been happening, but we're back on track now. Let's get to the questions. First, we're going to answer the questions that were sent to us on Patreon. They get top priority, and then we will answer as many public YouTube questions as we have time for.
Because it's actually part of the Jedi Academy.
Exactly. So let's do it.
Alright, so first, Richard J. asks what our favorite Expanded Universe novel is and why.
Huh, okay.
Favorite Expanded Universe novel. So for me, unfortunately, that's going to have to be a graphic novel, but why don't you go first?
It's actually a pretty easy answer for me because I love all of them. I've enjoyed, some of them are stinkers, but I enjoy those too. My favorite would be Heir to the Empire by Timothy Zahn, which was one of the first to be released. It's the beginning of the Thrawn trilogy. So we first met Grand Admiral Thrawn. It was kind of my entry into the expanded universe. I'd seen all the movies, and when I was about 11, 10 years old, I picked that book up, and I felt like I got catapulted into like this universe that was twice as big as the movies, and suddenly there was everything else. The expanded universe books are awesome because of how continuous they were, and once you got into it a little bit, like by the time the New Jedi Order series came out, there was actually like a map inside and like a timeline of chronological order of where all the books fit in, so you could like really understand where you were, because there's so many fucking books, it's easy to get like snowed under. But yeah, the Thrawn trilogy by Timothy Zahn, specifically Heir to the Empire, would be my favorite novel. What about you?
I mean, technically, it isn't, like, a novel at all, but, like, the first immediate thing, because when you were saying, like, the first written piece that really got you into the expanded universe.
Yeah.
For me, like, Dark Horse came out with a Count Dooku annual, and so it was, like...
Oh, I remember that. I remember that thing.
It was, like, it was pretty thick. It was really nice, but it was essentially... So it was my, like, really introduction to Count Dooku as, like, this really badass space vampire kind of a character.
Which he totally is.
Versus just Attack of the Clones.
Right.
And then it was also my first introduction to Quinlan Vos, who at that time was definitely more of like... Well, at that time he was like secretly undercover for the Jedi and like became a dark Jedi and worked with Count Dooku and like had to do a bunch of like really cool stuff. But just the way that it was animated and drawn out, and the colors of like the Force lightning, it was just like so vivid and just like so, I don't know, it was so like really powerful imagery. But like none of them had to do with like, you know, the like stereotypical, you know, top 5 Star Wars characters sort of thing. It wasn't, none of them were top tier characters.
Some of those are the best stories though, like these random asides that are going on elsewhere. Have you read Dark Disciple? I
did not, but that was kind of around...
You would dig it.
Which one was Dark Disciple
That's the canon Quinlan Vos story, where it's him and Asajj Ventress.
Yeah,
and there is a graphic novel of it out there.
That's the time period that this graphic novel is going around.
So it does. It pretty much directly retcons the one that you're talking about, but I think that you would really dig the new one too, so you should check it out. James Bowman asks, Cara Dune and Caleb Doom, any connection or just a coincidence? So they are different spellings. It's Dune with an N and Doom with an M. Caleb Doom, of course, is Kanan Jarrus. Cara Dune is Gina Carano's character from The Mandalorian. I think it could be like a common last name situation. Like we know that Antilles shows up a lot. Wedge Antilles, Captain Antilles, Bale Antilles. They're not related. It's like Smith or Anderson. You know.
It's true.
I'm leaning towards coincidence.
Coincidence. Yeah. If anything, like it would be like maybe like an homage to the name, sort of.
Yeah, it could be a little head nod from the writers, but I don't think that it's supposed to mean anything to us in terms of like a clue in universe.
Yeah, it's not like when Filoni had like all of the Loth Wolves saying Doom. Like it wasn't in your face.
That was pretty on the nose.
Yeah, it wasn't as in your face as that shit. Even though it was so epic.
That was.
Oh my god.
The last episodes were some of the best. Lord Vader himself asks, favorite Darth Vader moment and why? So for me, I'm going to go into the comics, into the canon. I think it's from Vader Down, which came out, I think, 2016. Vader's been shot down by the rebellion. It's basically like a mass attempt to assassinate him. And his ship's been shot down. He's cut off from his support. He's like stranded on this moon. And all of the rebel shock troops, all the ground forces are just surrounding him. They're piling in. There's like hundreds of them. And they've all got their weapons trained on him. And Leia's there, and they're like, throw it, like, surrender, Vader, it's over, you're totally surrounded. And he busts out his saber, and he says, all I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men. And then he just kills them all, and it's the most badass, just epic, like, sheer power of the Sith Lord against insatiable Oz, just killing everybody. It was amazing. So that's definitely my favorite Vader moment. Close second would be the Rogue One hallway scene, just because it's so good. So good.
It's so good, yeah.
What about you?
Movie-wise, like, yeah, the Rogue One scene it's like watching Shark Week for me. Like,
it's hard to top that scene.
The fact that Vader literally force throws someone into the ceiling and then kidney slashes him from behind.
No look,
his
just
back.
no look. Yep.
Just like, it was just it was like it wasn't Anakin at all, but like it was, you could just see the death machine. Like, he just, as an individual, doesn't give a fuck. He just wants those plans because, you know, he doesn't want the rebels to know about what he's building for.
He'll cut through whoever and whatever. He doesn't care.
Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck. Comic-wise, though, so for me, it's split between, so visually. So there was a visual moment with the Vader's Castle comics.
Oh, yeah.
Where he's in the meditation scene and he's like the armless, legless, like,
that's
anger being.
Vader, Lords of the Sith.
And then,
that's Giuseppe Camuncoli did the art for that.
And then he's just slaying all of the ghosts of his former Jedi Masters, both with like his prosthetic ghost arms and legs, and he's just like that hate shadow. Like, visually, I thought that was so fucking cool.
He glows white, and then his artificial limbs are black in the Force vision, like in that.
Oh, I thought it was the other way around. I thought his body was red and black, and then his artificial legs were.
You might be right. But anyway, it's Giuseppe Camuncoli took like the World Between Worlds and gave it like a corrupted dark side spin. Like, that's where his Force plane. That's what it looks like.
And then there was this
that's a good choice.
There
that's
was
really
this other short story where there was a bunch of like Sith acolytes who felt that Darth Vader was too much of a Jedi. Still, he felt the acolytes felt that Vader was not worthy enough to being an apprentice to Palpatine. So they decided that they were gonna make like this Force resurrection of Darth Maul. And then Palpatine was like, "There's been a disturbance in the dark side. There's, like, I need to go check it out." And then
that's
like,
Old
Vader,
Wounds, right?
Yeah, maybe. No, Old Wounds was the robot Darth Maul.
That's
versus,
right. That's right.
That was the visionary story.
Right.
So yeah, this one. So like Palpatine's like, "Go check it out," and Vader goes to this volcanic, like,
go check it out.
Pretty much volcanic planet, but it's not Mustafar. And these acolytes are like, "You're too much of a Jedi still. Like, you're part human, part Anakin, blah blah blah, and we've resurrected a true apprentice for Palpatine," and it's like this Darth Maul sort of Force ghost thing. And then so yeah, Vader and Maul clash, and they're like doing this whole super like really cool Sith apprentice fight thing. And then at one point, it's like at the end, I don't kind of spoil it for you, but at one point, like, the way that Vader beats the Darth Maul ghost is he stabs himself and then stabs the Darth Maul ghost like behind him.
That's badass.
And then it's super emo and dumb at the very end.
It's very John McClane.
Because of the way that they wrote it. Because at the some of the last two moments is like Darth Maul is like, "Oh, impossible! I'm a being of pure hate. What could you possibly hate more than me?"
He's like,
and
myself.
Vader's like, "Myself,"
Yeah.
and then he stabs himself and kills Maul. But then it's really cool because then the last shots of the whole story is Vader's just massacring the acolytes. He's just batting them away like flies, and then he like walks out of the temple, and then like Palpatine's there, and he's just like, "Well done, my apprentice. Like, you've proven yourself to be
that wrinkly old fuck. He's always
like,
doing that. He's just like, "Well done.
Yeah,
You did it.
you did it. You
And
passed
Vader's just
the
like,
test.
you know what? Just fuck off.
Fuck
right?
you." But
You're a dick. Your
yeah,
Highness.
but like it was really cool seeing like Maul. It was one of those like, what if Vader and Maul kind of fought it out? Like, it wasn't really Maul, but like still, it was a hate ghost.
Right.
You know, and Vader had to fight the hate ghost. That was dope. So, Zach Felsen, hope I said your last name correctly. Favorite Ewok movie? Is it Caravan of Courage or Battle for Ewok? I think you mean Battle for Endor. I don't remember Battle for or Battle of Endor.
Battle for Endor is it's solid. There's
because I was too distracted by how shitty Caravan of Courage was.
Yes.
Or like, I shouldn't say it like.
No,
Oh,
it's
man. It came out the
yeah.
same time that Willow came out. And
Willow's
like,
an incredible, amazing
like
movie.
there were
first of
so
all.
many cooler things that happened at that period, and like I was just like, why is this curly-haired blonde girl with the Ewoks? Like none of what I'm watching makes sense. What is going on?
I loved the fan theory that the little
Fucking
blonde girl
going
from
on.
Caravan of Courage was Captain Phasma when she grew up. Would have been hilarious. But no,
I mean, she does use a
Battle
spear.
for Endor. See, the thing.
I don't remember that at all.
The thing that people need to understand about the Ewoks movies is that they're absolute garbage.
They don't prove the
They're
savagery.
terrible.
They don't prove how savage and mechanically superior fucking Ewoks are.
I mean,
Ewoks are
regardless,
like koala bears.
regardless
They
of
are
that, that
dangerous.
doesn't even matter because the movies are just so bad.
It is, yeah.
Like the effects budget is quaint, and that's probably the best thing about it. Both of them. I would say Battle for Endor is a little bit better.
I appreciate that they were both filmed in Yosemite National Park. I will say
That's
that.
fair.
At least
That's fair.
Caravan of Courage was. I can't speak
Battle
for
for
Battle Endor.
Battle for Endor has a decent effects budget, and that's probably like for its time, and that's maybe the best thing about it. The acting is terrible. The writing doesn't really make sense. It's totally like a direct-to-TV movie kind of like it's one of those sorts of things. But Caravan of Courage is like the biggest pile of trash I've ever seen in my life. Everyone out there who's getting on Twitter and getting on YouTube and talking about how The Last Jedi is the worst Star Wars movie they've ever seen has never fucked with the Caravan of Courage.
It's true, man.
Because you don't know how good you got it. It's a shit show from start to finish. There's plots that don't make sense. I'm getting angry just thinking about the movie right now. Like, I'm actually a little angry because I'm having to think about the Caravan of fucking Courage right now.
It's just like it's a whole bunch of yub nub. That's for sure.
It's the Yub Nub dance from start to finish with some the stop motion blurs are kind of cool.
That's true.
There's some stop motion blurs from in the Caravan of Courage, and they're kind of awesome. But like,
the faces were pretty big.
to answer, let's see, how was this original question even framed?
If we were more of a Caravan
Which
of
one is my
Courage
favorite
type
out of the two of these?
or
Okay,
Battle of Endor.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that Battle for Endor is the more tolerable out of the two of those movies. Caravan of Courage is trash. It offends me with its Okay.
I was gonna say, yeah, no, that's fine. That's fine. Oh man.
James Oakey asks, if Disney gave you creative control to create your own show, what would it be, and who, actor, would you get to play the main character in the show? That's an excellent question. If I could have my own Disney Plus big budget Star Wars series, it would be set during the original trilogy. And, see, everything that I can think of is pretty much like it just slowly turns into The Mandalorian. I'm like, I want it to be about bounty hunter, I want it to be in the original trilogy era, like, been done. So, basically, Favreau stole my ideas. No, I don't know. I think it would be really cool to get, like, a NASCAR type show that was just, like,
With
pod racing.
Oh my god, that'd be
Where it's just, like, they just
fucking
CGI animate a new pod race every week, and, like, you know, you don't know who's going to win, and you could, like, have, like, a fantasy league about it.
Oh my god, but
You could interview the alien racers and stuff. I think
it
that
had
would
to
be
a
really
Bobby.
cool.
No, what's
Yeah, like
fucking
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby on the show. Oh my
Talladega
God,
Nights.
that
This
would
could be like
fucking
Tatooine
hilarious.
Nights. I think.
That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, no, it would be the
Miami Vice.
Ben Quadinaro's Talladega Nights.
It would be like Miami Vice, but Star Wars.
Can I help you?
God. Oh hi, Shadow. You're so nice. Hello, darkness.
What about you? What would your show be?
Off the top of my head, I was just randomly thinking that some random like Dathomir Night Sisters sort of show
Ooh,
would be
that could be cool.
Like
That could be cool.
you could either film it as like a Laura Croft sort of a thing, or you could like film it as like an American Horror Story sort of a thing.
That could be cool.
Like-
that could be cool.
Like if it were a Ventress, if it were an Asajj Ventress show, it could be way more Laura Croft, and it could be. I mean, it would kind of be like
Knowing
the
Disney Plus,
Mandalorian,
it would
but
be about
would be Ventress.
Knowing Disney Plus, it would be about a brand new brand new Night Sister, and then Ventress would like show up as like a big name character. That's what they would do.
Or she's like cursed with hearing the voices of her dead ancestors.
Oh, I did not add.
Like a Constantine. Oh, Constantine, like...
I only
Night
answered
Sister,
half
but
the
dead.
question. I would like Edward James Olmos to play a character somehow in the show, even though it's a pod racing show, because I think that he would be amazing in a Star Wars movie. JD Osinico asks, I'm sorry if I butchered your name, what are the chances Kyle, Katarn, and Bendu might do a feature-length commentary track for A New Hope someday? I would say the chances are pretty freaking good, considering we are planning on doing exactly that. Yes, stay tuned on the channel. Not necessarily soon, but pretty in the future, we're going to be releasing audio commentary tracks for all of the Star Wars movies that you can play along with the film and hear our stupid-ass comments.
Yeah, so. Right. I was going to say, if you really wish to hear it.
Yeah, so that'll be available to you probably early 2020. Don't really want to put a date on that yet. But, yes. Short answer, yes.
That'd be fun.
Top.
Eric Santucci asks, in what form would you like the story of Ahsoka and Sabine searching for Ezra and Thrawn to take? A live-action TV show, animated TV show, book trilogy, or film trilogy? In what form would you like the story of Ahsoka and Sabine?
Right, so it concluded with Rebels, and it has to be continued. Obviously, there's a story there that needs to be told. I mean, obviously, I think a live-action would be everyone's first choice, just because now we have proof of concept with The Mandalorian that a live-action Star Wars show can and does look good. So that would be my first choice. Realistically, though, I think they should continue with the animation because it seems like that's where Dave Filoni really that's where Dave Filoni really flourishes is with animation.
Even if you age everyone and make everyone like more like an adult age, like even as much as you could try to say like, oh, this is adult Ezra Bridger, like the fact that it would be going from the animation style that it was to try to make it live action, like I think that jump would be just too difficult.
I mean, and it's been done. Sometimes it works. Like the Blurgs in Clone Wars looks super weird and cartoony, but they've managed to make that weird cartoony creature look realistic somehow.
Yeah, but that's not a character, though. It's not a human character.
Well, it doesn't matter. They can still do that with humans. You don't. Who do you think would be the problem? Like Ahsoka or Thrawn? Like who?
No, I think Ezra would be the problem.
Oh, Ezra.
I think trying to find
They could find Sabine, they could find
no,
someone
they could
to be
easily
Ezra.
find a good Sabine. Actually.
I'm hoping that we get a Sabine,
the girl
at least a shout out, maybe not an appearance on Mandalorian. That'd be cool.
That's true. The girl lead from the most recent Terminator movie, she'd be a dope Sabine. I'd like her.
Who was in the new Terminator movie?
I don't know her name. But
I haven't seen any of the new Terminator movies. I'm sorry, guys.
But yeah,
I don't know why I'm apologizing for that. This is a Star Wars channel. Fuck Terminator. Electro Gamer asks, if you were to choose any color lightsaber in the Star Wars universe, what would it be and why? Generally, when I play games and I have the option of customizing it, I end up going purple. I'm a purple saber kind of guy. Mace Windu did it first, but I did it better. No, yeah, I like the purple saber because it's still within the pantheon of Jedi colors, but it is blue mixed with red. There's that like
that's the
towing the line of the dark side. Like Mace Windu, Samuel L. Jackson was really onto something with that, and I really like that idea. So
well, even with the fighting style, that was kind of the purpose of going from.
I would like to see someone with a double-bladed lightsaber where the two blades are different colors.
I hate that. I hate that shit.
You don't see it ever.
You see it all the time in different like fucking saber show productions and
the saber forge
you see a
stuff.
bunch of different like custom people's custom sabers who will like do stage production shows or whatever. Like you see different
Bendu
colors
hates
all
it.
The time.
I think it's cool.
My OCD can't handle it. Yeah,
that's fair.
I really go back and forth. I really love the classic. Well, I get the classic like the light blue of Luke's saber, but also like the really dark cobalt blue that they gave it in Revenge of the Sith. But if I had a double blade lightsaber, I could easily go back and forth between red and blue all the fucking time. Like,
well, okay, that's a good point.
Aesthetically, I really liked the black saber, but I just can't see myself.
Do you mean the black saber from Force Unleashed or the dark saber?
No,
okay, the black. Yeah, I know what you're talking. The black saber does look cool. It looks kind of like an eclipse.
Really cool.
It's like a long eclipse.
Exactly, because it has like the white
border,
like the white border.
Glow. Yeah.
But I don't see I can't see myself rocking the black hole saber. Yeah.
I would be purple if I was a Jedi, but I think we all know I would be rocking a red lightsaber.
Even Exar Kun, who was like one of the OG Sith Lords, he had a blue lightsaber. He never converted to red. He did switch to one blade to blue blade.
Yeah, I mean, I would argue that if Anakin hadn't gotten fucked up in Mustafar, he never would have updated his saber either. He probably would have kept rocking his blue saber.
Nah.
No, I think the only reason he ended up with a red saber because he had to rebuild a saber from scratch after being a Sith.
I mean,
but if he hadn't lost, if Anakin had. okay, if
he saw Dooku convert to a red crystal.
No, but that doesn't matter. The only reason he did it is because he had to. That opportunity was thrust upon him. If Obi-Wan hadn't cut his arms and legs off and jacked his shit, he would have just continued to use his blue ancestral saber. I guarantee it. That's my theory. Let us know in the comments if you agree with that or if you disagree with that.
Yeah, because now I'm thinking of Vader. Well,
Vader built a red lightsaber because he had to build a new lightsaber, and because now he's fully Sith, his crystal's going to be red. But, you know, he only built a new one because he lost his blue one. If he hadn't lost his blue one, I don't think he would have changed the color of it. I think he would have just continued to be Darth Vader with a blue lightsaber, and he also wouldn't have been in the suit, you know? So...
Oh, you asked the color. Yeah, color. Yeah, I go back and forth between red and blue all the time.
I'd be a purple guy if I was a Jedi, but I'd definitely probably end up with a red saber.
The thing I have now been recently trying to figure out is, I very closely am starting to convert to crossguard though. If I had a blue crossguard, like that one Darth Maul comic where he huffs the
dead
dust.
guy's ashes on.
He huffs the dead guy's ashes, and then you see like a bunch of the ancient Jedi with their different colored lightsabers. Right. And even with Ezra, you see a
green one. Yeah, he's got a green one.
The green crossguard. I'm like, you know, the crossguard's pretty dope.
It's an ancient style.
Yeah, if I had a blue crossguard, that'd be pretty cool. But if I had a blue double blade, that'd be pretty cool too.
What about a double-bladed crossguard?
That's two of that.
You know what I'm
blade.
saying?
That's two blade.
Like blades, and I say,
that's
and then
two blade builder bullshit.
Four little blues on the sides.
Yeah, no, that's two blade builders bullshit.
Okay, what do you think about the Inquisitor spinning saber?
I think it's cheating.
Yeah?
I think it's also too much.
What do you think about its helicopter ability?
It's so dumb. That shouldn't happen. That shouldn't
I love
work.
it. I love it. Everyone fucking hates it. Eric from Blind Wave fucking hates it. I love it.
There's nothing to say that should work physically. Like lightsabers burn
they use the
ozone.
Force
to go gadget helicopter themselves. Like
sure,
using the Force to feather fall, like Second
That's not
Sister.
How the Force works.
Like Second Sister in Fallen Order. How she uses the feather fall to like intimidate the fuck out of the redhead kid. Like that's fine. But spinning, no, this shouldn't work. You're not Grievous. Grievous couldn't fly. If you're gonna spin your lightsaber to fly, Grievous should be able to fly, and we never see Grievous fly.
Okay, this is a loaded question, and we'll probably talk about this for a long time. So this is gonna be our last one, I think. Bryce Gladwin asks, "Is the Force made up of good and evil, or growth and destruction? What is your take? Also, if you could talk to any Star Wars character to learn more about them, who would it be and why? Is the Force good and evil, or growth and destruction?"
It's all the above.
It's kind of a nature metaphor there.
It's all the above. Good and evil is only a perceptual.
Yes, I think that growth and destruction is a really accurate way to describe the balance between light and dark. And I think that good and evil is a little bit too dogmatic because it's a very subjective term, and it really depends on your alignment and your intentions when using the Force.
The Force.
I'd say the Force, the cosmic Force,
energy.
and the living Force is absolutely a symbiotic balance of growth and destruction. It's a really good way to put that.
It's a push-pull for sure.
There's a lot of good and evil symbology and terminology thrown around when talking about the good guys and the bad guys, the Jedi and the Sith. But it really is all shades of gray. The dark and the light have a lot more in common. Mm-hmm. It's more of a Venn diagram than an on-off switch, if that makes sense.
For sure. There's a lot of great Living Force episodes during the Clone Wars with Yoda, or
when he's speaking to Qui-Gon, when he's speaking to Qui-Gon through the cosmic Force,
when he's talking to
learning how to manifest himself through the living Force after his own death, so that he can pass he can pass that knowledge on.
Or with the brother and the sister episodes.
Yes, the Mortis arc.
They are very strong push-pull entities.
Yes.
But again, they were also physical manifestations of the Force.
Right, and even though the son and the daughter were depicted as good and evil, the evil guy wasn't totally evil. He felt remorse, and he felt sadness and grief that he had killed his sister, and he loved his family. He just also was full of negative, dark energy and emotion because of destruction. Yeah. The opposite of growth. But that's a great question. That's a great question.
Is neutral. Yeah.
Yes, the Force doesn't give a fuck what we do. Isaac Villa asks, "Hello, Kyle. My question: how would you feel if Disney decided to put Leia into the Disney Princess gang?" She is in the Disney Princess gang, as far as I know.
Right?
She is a princess from a Disney-owned franchise. Therefore, I believe she's already a Disney princess. And she's got a pretty good body count for a Disney princess. I think Mulan might have her beat. Maybe.
At this point, yeah. Mulan's still kind of there just for sure mass number. Because like, Leia's the general, so I mean, I guess, or is a general, so I mean, you could, like...
She gets her hands dirty. She gets her hands dirty.
Yeah, her personally, she gets her hands dirty.
She is also the Hutt Slayer. You know.
It is true. I think she's killed more people than her mom has. Padme
mostly killed droids. She mostly killed droids.
That's true.
She did not take a lot of, like, actual lives. No, I don't think it does count.
No, I'm saying that what you're saying counts.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. But yeah, I mean, she has... I mean, at what rate are you trying to say Disney princess? Because I mean, Star Wars people, they already have their own show. She already is a meet and greet character. They already bring her out. On Star Wars weekends. She's already there.
She's a Disneyland princess too. Yeah.
The only thing that hasn't happened is like that scene in Wreck-It Ralph 2 where, like, you know, Vanellope barges into a room with all the stereotypical princesses, sort of a thing.
Oh, yeah.
So like, she's never, like, I guess we haven't seen Leia in a parade with, like, Snow White. I suppose we haven't seen them hug.
That would be a little weird.
But
I don't think Leia would give a crap about doing those kinds of princess things. She'd be like, "This is boring. I got a war to fight."
Yeah, either that or, like, you know, she's been a diplomat before, so I mean, like, why not do so?
She knows how to smile and wave.
Yeah, exactly. She knows how to smile and wave. Johnny Griff asks, if you can have one character appear from the EU, who would it be? You have one character appear from the EU. Well, I mean, appear in what? Appear in The Mandalorian?
Just appear in something.
Appear in,
be
like,
brought back into canon.
In the movies?
It would be pretty sweet to see, I don't know, he's kind of an obscure video game character. He had a couple games. You might not have heard of him. Kyle Katarn. That's Kyle Katarn. Yeah, he's pretty cool. That'd probably be my obvious choice. But we kind of have Kyle Katarn in, like, he lives on in, like, 3 different people.
Yeah.
Like, there's elements of him can be found in Kanan Jarrus from Star Wars Rebels, Ron Coda from The Force Unleashed, and also
Ron Coda for sure.
Also Cassian Andor from Rogue One, and also from the Cassian show that's coming out. All 3 of them incorporate elements of Kyle Katarn's storyline and personality and traits. And so I don't think we'll ever see him because there's not room for him anymore. They got these three people are doing or fulfilling his roles. So you know, I don't think we're gonna see him in the future. But a guy can dream, right?
Right. Speaking of dreams, there was a great Photoshop I've seen kind of floating around of Keanu Reeves in Revan Rogue.
Oh, yep.
Like, I mean, just make KOTOR canon.
That's a tale as old as time. At this point, everyone wants Revan to play.
Or like not even Revan, or just there's so many backstory characters that could, like, I don't know, just strengthen the mythos. That it's hard.
Yeah.
It's hard for me to just think of one individual person. It's more so just like, let's make this event, like, can we actually say that this event happened, or do we have to, like, just remain in the dust on, like, oh, well, you're putting HK-47 in this video game, and you put Darth Nihilus in this video game, or you made Kylo Ren even kind of look like Darth Nihilus. So it's like, I understand picking references, but can we just say that certain things happened, or that they didn't happen?
Right.
Like, yeah, there's a lot of cool things with Legends.
There's cool things, but there's terrible things too. And some of the Legends not being canon anymore is a tragedy. There's some beautiful, amazing stories, but some of it is for the best.
Truth. Like,
have you ever read The Courtship of Princess Leia? It's for the best.
Right. Or, like, I mean, at this point, because we've only seen Bosk in the Bounty Hunter lineup at Return of the Jedi, just even something like that, if you were to take some obscure character and just bring them back.
Bosk is
would be,
awesome.
Because of the way that we have prosthetics, I think Bosk would have a really cool facelift.
Well, we've got
his face could actually do alligator shit.
Well, look at the Trandoshans that we've already seen on The Mandalorian. Like, we know it's possible.
Right.
We know it can be done. I want to see a Disney Plus series that picks up after the bridge scene from Empire.
Just have it be mini-series of each bounty hunter.
Yeah, you just
like,
got you got Dengar,
There's
you got
a Dengar
Forlorn,
episode.
Zuckuss,
Yeah, that's what I was
you
gonna
got
say.
IG-88, you got Boba Fett,
Insectoid.
you got Bosk, and he's like, no disintegrations, and then he leaves, and then we follow all the bounty teams and find out where they all end up.
How they all fucked
like,
up.
except for Boba Fett, because we know where he ends up. But, like, we find out, like, why Zuckuss never made it to fucking Cloud City, and, like, why IG-88's head appears in the trash room in that corner, in that one
Dude,
scene.
for real!
Like,
or at least an IG unit. Yeah.
I think that would be a really cool
Or you could see,
show.
like, Dengar make a wrong turn and be like, oh, well, fuck this.
We could see Dengar get slightly damp and have to recover himself in an entirely new clean toilet paper before he goes back out and finishes his mission.
Right? So, yeah, there's things that they could do. Well, thank you again, guys, for all your questions.
Yes.
Like, we appreciate every single one of them. It's really fun, like, having
we always love answering the questions from the people that are watching the show.
different conversations and such. Yeah.
To anyone whose questions we didn't get to, I'm sorry. We'll try our best to get to them next time.
Yes, and
Thanks for watching, everybody. Check out the rest of the channel for more content, reactions, and reviews. Leave us a comment if you have a question or something to say. And as always,
may the Force be with you.